A good approach to this lifestyle is to ensure that your kitchen is well stocked with plenty of healthy foods and not so much of the junk food. This will mean that it's easier for you to eat healthy, as if it's not there, you can't eat it. Planning your meals ahead of time can be useful, as you'll know exactly what to get in. You can utilize frozen fruits and vegetables if you're concerned about waste and wish to save money. If you've got vegetables that have been laying around for a little while and they're starting to look past their best, then chop them up, make a nice soup out of them, which can be stored in the freezer for as long as you want. Well, within reason. You can also utilize smoothies, which are very healthful if your fruits are getting overly ripe too. We tend to get our fresh produce in about twice per week, as some items, for instance salad greens, only stay fresh for about 3 to 4 days. We also get regular deliveries of non-perishable products. These days you can get everything you need at the local supermarket, however we also like to support local fruit and veg box schemes. They tend to be plastic free and provide local and seasonal produce, so it's better on the environment and sometimes on your wallet too. Or your purse, I don't discriminate. We also save money by buying things like grains, dried fruit and dried legumes in bulk. We also like visiting Asian supermarkets, as they have many items not found in our regular supermarkets, plus you can get cheap deals on tofu as well. You'll want to ensure that you have a wide variety of fresh fruits and vegetables to hand at all times. Some pantry items that you may wish to have in stock are legumes, dried or canned, a nice wide variety. Dried fruit, we often have things like dates, figs, dried apricots and raisins. A wide variety of whole grains such as rice, buckwheat, quinoa, oats, whole grain pasta and couscous. What we like about things such as couscous and vermicelli pasta is they cook super quick for times when you're in a rush. A variety of nuts and seeds is important too. Particularly I would emphasize ground flax and ground chia for the omega-3, and if you like them you can include whole nut and seed butters as well. Seaweed. We like having sheets of nori to hand so we can make sushi, or we'll use dulse or arame flakes in savory dishes. These provide essential iodine. When making sushi, opt for brown sushi rice. Clear Spring do one. If it's not in your local shops, you can get it online. Flours. We usually have chickpea, brown rice and oat flour in stock. If you're not gluten free, then obviously whole wheat flour is a good choice too. We also have corn flour and arrowroot to use as thickeners in things like sauces and gravies. As you can see, we have a lot of herbs and spices. We love cooking different cuisines, so over time we've amassed quite a collection. They're a great way of making meals more appetizing as well as more nutritious. In fact, they have the most antioxidants of any food for very few calories. Of course, you're not limited to dry herbs, you can use fresh too. If you'd like to optimize your health, body shape or performance with a vegan diet, then please check out my new online nutrition course. I've launched it at a low introductory price. It contains 14 videos, 3 cookbooks and masses of downloadable and printable PDFs, including a complete nutrition chart for all ages and stages of life, so you can be sure that the whole family is thriving. A quick word about salt. Salt is not a healthy food additive. Although it does make food very tasty, it raises blood pressure and stomach cancer risk, as well as being the #1 dietary risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. It also blocks the expression of powerful antioxidant superoxide dismutase at the very time we want to release it, as nutrients are hitting the bloodstream. When eating a healthy, whole foods, plant-based or vegan diet, we'll likely get all the sodium we need from our food. If you're going to add salt, then keep it to a minimum. Preferably for optimal health, total intake should be no more than about 1,500 milligrams per day. Adding a pinch of salt to the top of the meal on serving can help you make the most of it versus throwing it in during the cooking process. If you take a high amount of salt currently, then my advice would be to slowly decrease it over time. Your taste buds will soon change and you'll become used to the lower amount. Increasing the amount of herbs and spices you use can help to displace the salt too. Bread products. We often have in stock whole grain bread, pittas, wraps or bagels. And we always have a wide variety of sauces and condiments available, as these can really transform your dishes. In an ideal world, we'd make all our sauces ourselves so we know that there's no oil or sugar in there. If you have the time, then I highly recommend that you do that. But we all know that practically it's just not an option for most, so just go for the healthiest versions that you can find. If you'll then eat a massive bowl of kale because you've put a little bit of your favorite sauce on it, then I'd consider that a win. Definitely avoid sources that contain appreciable amounts of oil. That goes for pasta sauces too. Some other pantry staples that we like are vegetable stock, ensure it's palm oil free, nutritional yeast flakes, breadcrumbs, applesauce, go for sugar free, vital wheat gluten, capers, artichoke hearts, jalapenos, agar, passata, tomato puree, olives, silken tofu, and canned tomatoes. For baking, we like to have in stock baking powder and baking soda, cocoa or cacao powder, date sugar, blackstrap molasses, and vanilla extract. Cocoa powder is the one processed food that I'm aware of that is healthier than the whole food from which it's obtained, as they take out many of the saturates. Date sugar is simply dates that have been dried and pulverized. We like to use this as a sweetener as the fiber is still intact, making it healthy. However, because of the fiber, it doesn't dissolve, making it not work in every instance. Example, sweetening your brew. Some vegans like to use blackstrap molasses as a sweetener. It's the product that's left over when we refine sugar cane and sugar beets into table sugar. It contains high amounts of vitamins and minerals, but has a strong cough syrup taste, so it's not ideal as a sweetener in many situations. And again, because the sugars in there are not attached to fiber, I don't consider it particularly healthy, so do use very sparingly if you're gonna. Our favorite sweetener is date syrup. You can buy it commercially or just make your own simply by blending together dates and water. At this time, the only artificial sweetener that seems to be completely healthy is erythritol. However, I personally like to stick to the whole foods. Now click this.